She's about to get completely blindsided by the divorce papers in about 10 days or so. Honestly, I doubt she'd ever see this coming from me, and that's actually a relief. So, here I am, just filed for divorce from Diane, and my head's still spinning. I'm scared out of my mind and could really use some support right now. I keep thinking, how did I even end up here in my marriage? Just a month ago, I never would have believed I'd be in this spot. Up until recently, things between us seemed solid, always together, our sex life was great, we went out every weekend, and we always had each other's backs. I really tried to make sure Diane had everything she needed to be happy. But then, after she got to know some guy at the gym for a couple of months, everything changed. My wife started up this emotional affair with him. When I confronted her about it, she flat out refused to stop seeing the guy. She even told me she's in love with him, and I found out they'd been sending each other flirty texts and even nudes. Out of nowhere, she tells me she hasn't loved me for a while, and that Jake makes her feel like a real woman. The thing is, our love felt genuine right up until this guy showed up. Ever since she started seeing him, she's turned into someone I barely recognize, cold, resentful, and totally uninterested in me. I spent 2 weeks doing what people call the pick-me dance, trying everything I could to win her back. Finally, I poured my heart out to her one last time and told her, it's either him or me. Her response? I don't know what I want. That was it for me. I stormed out, told both my parents and my in-laws what was going on, and even reached out to Jake's girlfriend. Diane lost it, called me weak for telling our families, and when she found out I'd told Jake's girlfriend, she went absolutely nuts, yelling, shoving, throwing things. She started screaming that we were done and there was no hope for us. But the affair didn't stop. Diane and Jake just pretended to break it off so Jake's girlfriend would get off his case. If Diane and Jake are supposedly so in love, why hasn't he left his girlfriend? That's a question I keep asking myself. Since all this, I've started doing the 180, basically, I'm focusing on myself and not chasing after her anymore. I even found messages between Diane and Jake where they're talking about what their future kids might look like. They're going out on dates in public now, and things have definitely gotten physical between them. That was the last straw for me, so I went ahead and filed for divorce. She's going to be completely caught off guard when those papers show up in about 10 days. I doubt she'd ever expect me to actually go through with this, but that's exactly why I need to do it. I have to show her I'm serious and that I refuse to be her backup plan. When the day comes and she gets served, I'm planning to go all out, let both our families know exactly what's been happening with her and Jake, show Jake's girlfriend proof of the ongoing affair and how physical it's gotten, cancel Diane's gym membership, move my money out of our joint account, and make her move out of the house. I'm honestly terrified about how she'll react when she gets served and I do all this, but I know it's what has to happen if I want any shot at clearing my head. Deep down, I'm hoping that by dropping this bomb, maybe I can save my marriage, but I'm also bracing myself for the worst. Where I live, the law says we have to be separated for 6 months before the divorce can be finalized. If she doesn't come back to me during that time and make the changes I need to see, then I'll know there was nothing left to save. It's going to be rough if that's how it ends, but I know I'll get through it and come out stronger in the end. Now, let me just share what's on my mind. Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea to do all this just to try and get her back. No way. If I were in your shoes, I'd be done, it's a lost cause. No matter how she gets served, I'd do it because I want this chapter to be over, and I'd just wait out those 6 months since that's what the law says. I actually heard about this kind of thing recently. Someone I know had to be separated for a while before their divorce could be finalized, but you know what? Forget all that, I'm not doing this so she can come crawling back to me, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry." I can already tell you, she's going to try to come back. The thing is, if this guy isn't even willing to break up with his own girlfriend while he's messing around with my wife, it's obvious he doesn't care about her the way she cares about him. She's way more into him than he is into her, and honestly, he's probably just using her for his own fun. The thing that gets me is, if your main focus is on serving her those divorce papers and going through with all this just to see if she'll come back and maybe patch things up in 6 months, I wouldn't do it. Imagine this, you file for divorce, and then you're both just waiting around for half a year. Maybe by the 3rd or 4th month, she comes running back, crying and apologizing, saying she can't believe how stupid she was. If you take her back, what do you really think is going to happen in the next 6 months? She'll just end up finding someone else, maybe at the gym, maybe at work, or wherever she goes. Even if this guy dumps her and disappears for a while, all he has to do is call her, and she'll go right back to him. She's that hooked. She's more into him than she ever was with me, and I'm her husband. Let that sink in for a second. This guy has a crazy amount of control over her feelings. He can drop her whenever he wants, and the moment he reaches out, she'll come running. It's done. It's really over, man. I've said this so many times before, especially when I read stories like this. I get why you want to save your marriage. Most guys do. No matter how bad things get, most men want to fix things, even after serving divorce papers and kicking her out. That's just how we're wired. Think about it, he said everything was good, the sex was great, they went on date nights, he provided for her, gave her whatever she needed. Then, out of nowhere, he finds out she's cheating. He's completely blindsided. In his mind, the relationship was full of good things, and then suddenly, this one awful thing happens. So, of course, he starts blaming himself, wondering what he did wrong. That's the risk you take when you get married or get into a serious relationship. Eventually, she's going to flake out, it's just what happens sometimes. She can have everything, and still, she'll want more. It's never enough. Things get boring, even if you're going on dates and having great sex. Then some guy with a better body comes along, and she wants that instead. It's honestly just crazy. I really do feel for you, man. I'm telling you, don't go through all this just hoping she'll come running back. But hey, there's an update, so let's get into that and see how things turned out. So here's the latest, I just filed for divorce from my wife, still feeling like I'm in a fog. Diane's out of my life now. Looking back, about a month and a half ago when I first posted about this, I thought I was done with the whole pick-me routine, but honestly, I was still stuck in it. I had this idea in my head that serving her divorce papers would finally snap her out of it, but that's not what happened at all. She was actually grateful for the divorce. Where I live, after you file, you have to be separated for 6 months before anything else can happen. I decided not to go completely scorched earth, just to keep things from getting too messy. And let me tell you, when people online say to file for divorce while your spouse is still in that affair fog, because you'll get a better deal, they're right. Diane let me keep the house, our dog, and pretty much anything else I wanted. She even signed a court order saying she can't come after me for spousal support. Not bad, honestly, she moved out today, and honestly, it's one of the most bittersweet experiences I've ever had. On the one hand, sharing a house with her these past 2 months has been downright miserable. But on the other, it really feels like I'm closing the door on a huge chapter of my life. I broke down and cried pretty hard as soon as she walked out the door, but deep down, I know this is the right thing for me. She and Jake are still sneaking around together, and he's still got his girlfriend. Diane's completely lost in her own little world, totally blinded by this affair fog. I'm still amazed at how cheating can turn someone into a completely different person. Diane and I were together for a decade, she was honestly my best friend. We had all these dreams and plans for our future. But the second Jake showed up, it was like she couldn't even stand to be in the same room as me. For the last 2 months, she's treated me with nothing but resentment, and honestly, I was way more polite and civil than I probably should have been. You'd think I was the one who cheated, the way she acted. I'm starting to realize she might have been a covert narcissist all along. When I first posted about all this, I was a wreck, barely eating, barely sleeping, just lying in bed most days, feeling completely broken. But looking back now, a month and a half later, I can see how far I've come. I feel so much better these days. Sure, I still grieve for what we had and what could have been, but it doesn't take over my mind like it used to. Therapy has been a huge help. I've been hitting the gym again, leaning on my family and friends for support, and getting back into old hobbies. I've even picked up a few new interests that I'm genuinely excited about. Since Diane can't legally come after me for spousal support, I figured it was time for a change, so I started looking for a better paying job. I've got a few interviews lined up that I'm actually looking forward to. I also want to give a massive thank you to everyone who's shared their stories and advice online. Reading about other people's experiences and hearing their words of encouragement has helped me more than I can say. I realize now that I've already survived the worst part of what's probably the most traumatic thing I'll ever go through, and that's given me this weird sense of confidence and fearlessness I've never felt before. This separation is a fresh start for me. I can take my life in any direction I want now. I feel more empowered than I ever have. I don't know exactly what the next 6 months will bring, but I'm sure I'll come out of it as a better version of myself. For anyone else out there who's been betrayed, I want you to know it doesn't matter how much your spouse tries to gaslight you, shift the blame, or rewrite the past. I dealt with all of that right up until the day Diane moved out. Cheating is not your fault, and you are enough. Your spouse could have chosen to talk things out or end the relationship like an adult, but instead, they picked the most painful, immature, and cowardly way out. People who cheat are weak and have some serious character issues. But you can get through this, and you can heal faster than you think. I know it sounds cliché, but just take it one day at a time and really focus on yourself. I mean actually put in the work to take care of yourself. It really does help, absolutely, 100%. It's just wild, man. You spend 10 years married, thinking everything's good, doing everything you're supposed to do, and then suddenly she's like, oh, look, there's something new and shiny, I want that instead. You're old news, you're boring. Just like that, the person who was supposed to be your best friend, your partner for life, is gone. Is it worth it? Not a chance. Now, looking at some of the comments people have left, someone asked if I've kept Jake's girlfriend updated about the affair. For now, I've decided to just sit back, grab some popcorn, and watch the whole mess play out. That I really don't want her turning vindictive once the divorce process officially kicks off in 6 months, and I know that if I blow things up right now, that's exactly what'll happen. As much as I'd love to spill everything to Jake's girlfriend, I've got to put myself first and keep things as calm as possible. Honestly, I get it. I just want to get through all of this without any more drama or having things blow up in my face. The last thing I need is for her to get angry and start making things even harder for me. But I'll tell you what, I can already see how this is going to play out. Jake is going to end up dumping my soon-to-be ex-wife, and when that happens, she's going to come running back to me. I can't let her back in, no matter what. Here's the tricky part, though, if he does dump her and she comes crawling back, and I turn her away, there's a real chance she'll get spiteful during those 6 months before the divorce is final. I really hope it doesn't come to that, but I've got to be ready for it. Someone even said, I don't blame you, but as soon as the paperwork is done, blow up their little lie and watch the chaos unfold. And be ready for her to come crawling back once the excitement of the affair wears off. That's exactly what I'm expecting. 10 years together, and she just chases after this new shiny thing. But as soon as that new toy breaks and she's left with nothing, she'll try to come back to me, acting like she made some huge mistake and suddenly realizes I'm the one she wants. I've got to stay strong and remind myself that she made her choice, and now she has to live with it. People keep saying, yeah, she'll be back eventually. She'll figure out that if Jake will cheat on his girlfriend, he'll cheat on her too. And that's the truth. Another person said, good plan, because at some point, everything's going to blow up for her, and she'll try to come back. Hopefully, it'll be after the divorce, and you can just ignore her. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's going to happen. Jake's girlfriend is going to find out, and he'll dump Diane to save his own skin. He's never going to leave his girlfriend for her. So, Diane's going to end up all alone, and she'll try to run back to me. Technically, we're still married for now, but I'm not letting her back in. I know that'll probably make her mad, but it is what it is. I've got to stand my ground and not let her back into my life. You really don't want her to snap out of her affair fog before everything's finalized. Imagine if she comes back, and then starts filing new motions or trying to mess with the process just because I won't take her back. That would be like winning the lottery and then losing it all at a casino. Honestly, I should probably be encouraging her to stick with Jake, be super nice, super supportive, just until the divorce is official. Heck, if she loses Jake, maybe I should help her set up a Tinder profile or even pay Jake to stick around until the decree comes through. I'm joking, but you get the idea. A lot of people are saying I'm making the right move by not stirring the pot and just looking out for myself. As tempting as it is to get revenge, it just keeps you stuck in the mess. Jake's girlfriend isn't my responsibility, either. Maybe I'll tell her everything one day, but if I do, I'll make sure not to get emotionally tangled up in it. Honestly, I appreciate all the support. Folks keep saying, very smart move. Good luck. And I agree. The best time to let the truth out is after the judge signs off on the divorce, not before. I think my plan is solid, and I'm going to stick with it. I'll keep everyone updated as things move along. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll drop the link in the description like always. Catch you guys next time.